last, the final shape is here. This video will transform you from a filthy peasant into a god-slaying king. Yes, this is the ultimate guide for new players, returning players, and hardcore vets. The final shape is massive and bursting with new abilities, new loot, and quite simply, the best campaign Bungie has ever made. I'm gonna show you how to get exotic engrams, and how these engrams now allow you to unlock any exotic armor piece you want, and of course, how to hit max power. There are now so many new ways to earn loot and power up in the final shape, and I'm gonna show you them all, and so much more. Thanks to Bungie for sponsoring this guide. Let's do this. Okay, so if you're starting a brand new character or playing Destiny for the very first time, you now have the option to skip the tutorial mission and jump straight into the Final Shapes campaign. And it's a campaign with two difficulty settings: normal, which is recommended for any player, and legendary, a harder challenge with bigger rewards. Upon completion, you get a gear bundle that gives you a considerable power boost and a Final Shape exotic. Now, I ran the legendary campaign on my hunter and chose the exotic chest piece Gifted Conviction. This exotic adds bouncing explosives anytime you activate Ascension. It's one of my favorite things to do in the game and helps to wipe out large groups of enemies. I recommend this exotic for pretty much any activity. It's a beast. So what about the new power levels in the final shape? Well, the power floor is 1900. This is simply the level everyone starts at. The soft cap is 1940. You reach this level just by playing the game and picking up the loot that drops from enemies and pretty much any activity. The powerful cap is 1990. To hit this number, you need to complete activities that reward you with either powerful or pinnacle engrams. And now, for the first time ever, every reward source in the game has a chance to drop a powerful item. So yeah, just play however you like and you'll gradually increase in power. But the most reliable source for powerful engrams are tower vendors. Simply rank up your vendor, and every time you unlock a reward, you'll also get a powerful engram. It's one of the easiest ways to level up your power. Now, maxing out a tower vendor rewards you with 6 powerful engrams and a whole heap of useful upgrade materials. Now, the reason I focused on maxing out this particular vendor, Master Raoul, is because doing so also unlocks a brand new way to get exotics. You'll have the power to unlock any exotic armor piece in the game. Yes, it's that good. We'll talk about this in more detail a little later. And finally, the hard cap, which is 2000. Only pinnacle engrams will help you reach this. Harder activities like dungeons and nightfall strikes drop pinnacle engrams. But what about exotic engrams? Well, the final shape has new ways to earn them and new ways to use them. Okay, so let's start by talking about how you earn exotic engrams. As you can see, I'm fully decked out. Now, you have a chance to earn an exotic engram by soloing an expert lost sector. Some exotic engrams will just randomly drop from killing enemies, although this is a pretty rare occurrence. Your season pass will also reward you with exotic engrams, and you can earn up to 3 exotic engrams a week by simply completing 9 ritual activities. That's either Vanguard Ops, Crucible, or Gambit. Now, I'd suggest running a mixture of all of them, as this way you will also rank up your tower vendors for those powerful engrams that we talked about earlier. Now, ritual activities also drop strange coins, which brings me nicely onto my next point. Say hello to Zur. This dude has had a massive update for the final shape, and you can use your strange coins to purchase items from him. Doing so will unlock rewards, including 2 exotic engrams at rank 10. Now, you can also purchase an exotic engram from his strange gear collection. It costs 23 strange coins, but you can only buy 1 of these per week. Now, Zur also sells something called a strange gift in his More Strange Offers collection. They cost 1 strange coin per gift, and I purchased 37 of them just because I was curious, and to be honest, it's just not worth it. You get mostly blue gear, which drops at 1900, some legendary gear that also drops at 1900, and sometimes raid banners, enhancement cores, and upgrade modules will also drop. But yeah, like I said, it's just not worth it. Right then, you now have all these exotic engrams, so what do you do with them? Well, you take them to Master Raoul, where you can use them in one of 4 ways. 1, you can simply decrypt them for a random exotic armor piece. 2, you can use Raoul's advanced decryption. This method makes things a little less random by allowing you to choose exotics from specific expansions. 3, Raoul's precision decryption. This method allows you to choose exactly which exotic you want to purchase. However, you can only choose exotics you've already unlocked in-game. 4, now the 4th option, novel decryption, only becomes available after you've reached rank 16 for this vendor, and you rank up by decrypting engrams. Let me break this down. So then, decrypting a prime engram gives you 100 rep. An exotic engram gives you 150 rep. Using the advanced decryption method gives you 250 rep, and the precision decryption bags you a whopping 500 rep. After you've decrypted enough engrams and hit rank 16, Raoul offers you the new novel decryption, the 4th way to decrypt your engrams. Now this method allows you to unlock any exotic armor piece, even ones you haven't yet acquired in game. It costs 1 exotic engram and 1 exotic cipher, but you finally get to complete your exotic armor collection. And seeing as Raoul is now the only source for any new exotic armor, yeah, it's totally worth unlocking this decryption method. Okay, so now you know how to level up and get exotic engrams. It's now time to take on the legendary campaign, to wield the new prismatic subclass, the new supers, and to finally confront the witness and conclude this decade-long story. Like I said before, this is quite simply the best campaign Bungie has ever made, so let's talk about it. First off, I just need to mention the scale of this campaign. Bungie's packing in more enemies on screen than ever before in the vast, beautiful, and strange landscape of the Pale Heart. Epic is an overused word, but this campaign is the definition of epic, grand in scale and scope, and focusing on a long and arduous adventure. It's good, my boys. It's a very good. Now, as you'd expect, the campaign has numerous puzzles and set pieces, and I want to focus on 2 of my favorite moments. During the campaign, you'll need to complete the Liminality Strike, which is heavily inspired by Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Once you grab a ball of taken energy, you need this to take down the boss's shields. Lava starts to rapidly fill the room, and unless you're quick enough, you get melted. So yeah, the first time this happens, it's a little panic-inducing as it's not entirely clear where you need to jump to escape this death trap, although it is fun watching your teammates get burnt to a crisp. But yeah, if you're quick enough, you'll make it out alive. Now, I also love this moment. Instead of burning up in lava, you now have to avoid freezing to death. This whole encounter is a precarious juggling act, scattered around this huge snowy arena of fiery pits. If you want to stay alive and avoid becoming an ice cube, you'll need to stand next to them. Doing so resets your 45-second timer. If the timer hits 0 before you warm up, you'll succumb to the cold and die. But your main objective here is to take out the Shadow Legion's generator shields. In order to do so, you need to locate and kill the floating bubble scions. Doing so disables the generator's shields, allowing you to destroy them. Now you need to get up close and personal to take out the scions, and as you can see, this generator is now exposed and ready to be obliterated. But we ain't done yet, because you now need to find and kill an honored Centurion, as these specific enemies drop the bombs needed to take out the generator. And once you have the bomb, lob it at the generator and enjoy the fireworks. I just really enjoyed whizzing around this arena, causing carnage with my supers, topping up the timer to avoid freezing, and blowing up generators. You can tell Bungie has built this campaign with the new OP prismatic subclass in mind, and that brings me nicely onto my next point. Okay, it's now time to talk about the new prismatic subclass, becoming transcendent, the new final shape supers, and how all these combine to break the game. Now, like I said at the start of the video, the new prismatic subclass changes everything. You now have the power to combine light and darkness abilities. If it sounds OP, that's because it is. It's like a compilation of all the best bits from every subclass, plus some new ones, rolled into one godly build, and you can mix and match these abilities. Now, prismatic also allows you to achieve transcendence. This is basically a second mini super. Now, you fill your prismatic meter, that's the pink meter below your regular yellow super meter, by dealing light and dark damage. And here's a tip: kinetic damage generates both light and dark energy, so it's an effective way of quickly filling your prismatic meter, and once full, you can activate transcendence. It's the only way you can destroy enemies with transcendent shields, but it also turns you into a killing machine. Now, while transcendent, you gain a powerful prismatic grenade, your abilities generate faster, and defeating targets increases its duration, and you can even pop your regular super while transcendent. That's 2 simultaneous supers, a mix of light and darkness abilities, and a new exotic class item with 2 exotic perks that further enhance your powers. This is why prismatic is broken, and this is why you're gonna love it. Okay, it's now time to take on the campaign's final boss, the Witness. Here's a quick guide. I like to start off by going in with everything. The Silence and Squall Stasis super deals good damage to the mini-boss and takes out his surrounding minions. I then fire off Galahorn rockets until the mini-boss becomes immune. Then it's a quick dash to the left side of the arena to pick up the relic. Now, the relic has multiple functions, and you'll need to use this thing throughout this entire encounter. When fully charged, the relic takes down the mini-boss's shield. It also protects you from the deadly darkness that fills the arena. Now, after the darkness subsides, you'll need to finish off the mini-boss. Doing so spawns this rather cool sword. A sword that has the power to destroy these statues and activate phase 2 of this encounter. Now, phase 2 is pretty much the same as phase 1, only now you'll need to constantly activate these buffs, otherwise you'll succumb to the toxic air. Now, once you've destroyed the 3rd statue, you'll Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise. Let's just say defeating the Witness is far from the end of this journey. In fact, we've only just begun. So yeah, I didn't think it could be done. I didn't think the final chapter in this decade-long saga could possibly live up to my expectations, but it did, and it exceeded them. And as if the final shape wasn't enough to be getting on with, Bungie just revealed their plans for the future. That's right, in year 10 of Destiny, we're getting 3 new episodes, Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy. And in year 11, that's 2025, Bungie revealed the codename for their next project, Frontiers. It's safe to say Destiny is here to stay. Now, if you're new to Destiny and fancy getting stuck in, it's available on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Game Store, and comes with cross-play and cross-progression. If you want to learn more, click the link in the description box below.